welcome back to the kitchen. Except if you're looking around, you're probably noticing this is not my kitchen. We are in the senior center kitchen today. We are still closed right now, of course, because of the COVID lockdown. But that doesn't mean that we can't continue to do videos for you. So it's a little bit different, a little bit maybe more challenging to do these videos when we decide to do them, because I have to think ahead and bring everything from home. But I have something for you today that I think you're going to enjoy. And I hope you're able to hear me. I am using some new AirPods that were a Christmas gift. So I'm hoping that's going to improve your ability to hear me. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do like an Asian-inspired rice paper vegetarian roll. Now these make a really good little snack or something you could serve at a party or a nice light lunch. The difference between the one that we're going to make here today and what you might typically get at like a Thai or Vietnamese or an Asian restaurant is that those ones are usually, in my experience anyway, served cold, with the ingredients are inside are cold and they're kind of chilled, and the veggies and stuff are probably mostly fresh. Here we're actually going to stir fry them a little bit, so it's more of a warm dish. So let's talk a little bit about some of our ingredients that we have here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to make a peanut sauce to go with this. So what I have is this is powdered peanut butter, PB&Me it's called. This is a good way to lower the fat content in your sauce rather than using, just regular made peanut butter from the grocery store. 60 calories and 2 grams of fat and 2.5 tablespoons of this stuff. And you just basically, you can reconstitute it with water or any kind of liquid you want to use. It gives a really good peanut flavor. If you don't have powdered peanut butter, just use your regular peanut butter and kind of melt it down a little bit, maybe in the microwave, soften it up a little bit so that it's a stirrable consistency, okay? We're going to use some sesame oil, soy sauce. We've got some Sriracha sauce. We've got an Oriental Thai seasoning, which I may or may not use depending on how it goes. Ketchup, stick with me on this one. Just some water. And then for our rolls themselves, we've got, of course, our rice paper sheets. Now you can get these in most grocery stores in the Asian food section, and this is sort of what they look like when you take them out. This one's kind of busted up, but that's okay. All you do is literally soak these, you reconstitute them in water for about 5 seconds in warm tap water, and then you can wrap your food in them, and they'll continue to soften as they kind of sit. So really don't over soak these, or you're just going to end up with like a gloppy mess. So we've got a stack of those. In terms of what's going in our little vegetarian rice paper rolls, I'm cleaning out the fridge. So we've got some almost past their peak scallions here. I brought 1 carrot. We're going to use the juice and zest of a lime. I've got some fresh ginger, garlic, 1 onion, 3 teeny tiny little sad looking mushrooms. I brought some cilantro from home that I just wrapped in a damp paper towel this morning before I left. Some bean sprouts. And then I like to add slices of fresh avocado. Now if you want to do these and have a meat, like a meat option, or you want more protein, you can use sliced hard-boiled egg would be good in these. Any kind of meat, chicken, cooked shrimp, beef strips, pork strips, tofu, if you're into like marinated tofu, anything like that would be great in these. So first things first though, we're gonna work on our sauce because we want those flavors to kind of percolate while we're making our rolls. So I'm gonna set all my veg aside, okay? Oh, and I've got some peppers here. These were left over from another cooking project at home, and I just couldn't throw them out, and they're just raw peppers that I've marinated with a little olive oil and some shallots. So we're gonna use those up as well. Okay, let's start with our sauce. So I'm gonna use my powdered peanut butter, and I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of the powdered peanut butter. And I'm gonna get a spoon out here. Or a fork, I guess. Now I should qualify. I gave this a test run at home because this is my own sort of creation. And I made some peanut sauce last night. This is my version. I like my peanut sauce really spicy. So this is super, super spicy. It has a lot of Sriracha sauce in it. You don't have to make it this spicy. And in fact, today I'm gonna make a mild version or milder version. But I did bring my extra spicy here in case I want to dip into that at lunchtime. I'm just going to add a little bit of water and start mixing in my peanut butter. Now again, this depends on how peanutty you would like your sauce to taste. If you really want to be hit over the head with the taste of peanuts, then you add more. And it'll just take a little bit more liquid to reconstitute it. Okay, so I've got a little bit of water in there. We're gonna add a generous squirt of ketchup, which I know seems very unusual when you're talking about Asian cooking, but I'm telling you, I make this pad thai at home, and it's honestly better than anything you'll get at any restaurant. And it is so super good, and the sauce calls for a squirt of ketchup. To that, we're gonna add a little squirt of sesame oil, some soy sauce, and you can see I'm really not measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and you have to kind of go and you taste it as you go along. I think I'll put in some of my Thai seasoning here. Maybe a little more here. This is not going to add real heat to it. This is more just the flavors of ginger and garlic, which is nice. Now, as for our Sriracha sauce or our hot sauce, if you don't have Sriracha sauce, just a little bit, because this is going to be the mild version. And we're going to give it a stir. And I don't know if you can see, it's a nice kind of brownish orangey color. You can really smell the peanut and the sesame. Let me just give it a little taste test here. That's really good, but it's missing something. I think maybe I'll put a little bit more of the peanut, powdered peanut butter in. Just do another half tablespoon here. And mix it in, and then we're just gonna set this aside. Now again, if you don't have Sriracha sauce, you can use just some crushed red chili flakes that you may have kicking around in your cupboard. You can use regular peanut butter, like I said, you just have to melt it down in the microwave. Oh, I know what it's missing. Heaven's sakes, no wonder it tastes like something's definitely missing. We are missing our lime. All right, so I'm just gonna roll my lime around on my board here to loosen up some of the juice. And let's see here, find a grater. And we're just gonna grate the zest of the lime right into the sauce. Being careful not to get the white part, because that's what makes it taste bitter. I don't want the bitter part. I just want the nice green stuff on the outside. And then after we get all of our zest off the outside of our lime, we are going to cut it open, and we're going to juice it. Whoops. Don't lose it here first. Probably enough zest there. That's good. Okay, so we've got our zest off of our lime, or most of it anyway. I am just going to kind of take a spoon and jam it up inside here and squeeze to get the lime juice as much as I can. This is normally where I would use my reamer at home, but did not bring that this morning. Dropped the ball on that one. And same thing over here. Kind of working all that lime juice out. There we are. Pretty good amount of juice actually comes out of one lime. But you can add more. If you like really, want it really limey, you can. Okay. That is much better. I can't believe I didn't realize off the bat that the lime was what was missing. Anyway, we're going to set this aside, and I'm going to set aside my little platform here, and we're going to get on to actually making the guts of our rolls. So I've got my chopping board here. I know you probably can't really see it, but I'll tell you what I'm doing as we're going along here. All right, so I washed this stuff last night when I was at home, so it'll be ready to go for today. So I'm going to start with my my scallions here, and I'm just going to do like a fine chop on these, okay? Green and white parts. And I'm just going to set those off to the corner of my board. Okay, so I've chopped up my scallions, and I've done a little peeling and chopping here off camera, or just to sort of save a little bit of time. We've got our carrot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate the carrot on a cheese grater. The reason being that the carrot would take so much longer than everything else to cook because it's so dense. It would just, everything else would get either mushy or it just would take too long. Plus this cooks really nice and quickly, still adds nice color to it as well. I've got my peppers chopped here beside the cheese grater. And again, when you're cutting your peppers, you want to kind of cut them into, matchstick or finger stick kind of pieces. You have to remember, we're going to be trying to wrap these in rice paper, so we want it to be easy to wrap. We don't want kind of everything to be all different shapes and sizes. That wouldn't be good. All right, same thing now I'm going to do with my ginger. But I'm going to use my ginger on a different, on a smaller side of the cheese grater here, okay? Try not to break my knuckles in the process. Maybe I'll just end up finally chopping that up. Good amount of ginger in there anyway. All right. Good. All right, for the onion, just going to slice it in half. And then I'm going to slice into half rings, which will fall apart nicely when we cook. Mushrooms, again, they've all been washed. Slice them into thin slices. Okay, and of course our cilantro. You don't have to be too fine with the cilantro because, again, it's nice color. All right, the only other thing I'm going to slice now is my avocado. So these are actually perfect avocados right now. You can just feel the flesh of the avocado yielding under your thumb when you gently press it. So I'm just going to slice my knife in, and right away you're going to run into the pit in the middle, and then you just work your knife around the outside. Give your avocado a little twist, and then you take the blade of your knife very carefully, and you kind of give it a little tap in the avocado, and you pull out your pit. That's easy. Now, to get the flesh out, I just use a big tablespoon and kind of run it around the inside of the shell, and that's how you get your flesh out. And then you can just slice that into nice slices. Those are going to go in at the end. They're not going in the pan to cook with everything else, okay? And I've got my bean sprouts here. They have been washed. Pull my pit off of here. So I'm going to push my scallions over onto my parchment here because those are more of a garnish, again, at the end. Don't really need those cooking with everything else. I'll move my avocado over here with that. Now, we're going to fire up our burner, and we're going to add some sesame oil to our pan. You can use a frying pan or a wok. It doesn't really matter, whatever you like. Oops, small burner. Okay. Squirt of sesame oil in there. Again, another little sprinkle of our seasoning here. Okay, give that a minute to get warm. And And then we are very simply gonna just dump everything in all at once, and we're gonna stir fry it gently. We're gonna add our sprouts to it too. You want the bean sprouts to still be crunchy, but softened, if that makes sense. You don't want them to be all soggy and wilted, because it's just going to add too much water to your roll. So, here we go. Do this. You can hear it sizzle right away. Now, I didn't add any garlic to this because my seasoning has garlic in it already, but you can. You can also add almonds or cashews to this. Again, if you want a little, a different kind of crunch or protein in with it. All right, into our sprouts. And we're just gonna come back in a few minutes when this is all sort of reduced down, and I'll show you what it looks like, okay? Okay, so we have gotten our mixture off the stove, and as you can see, everything is looking nice and soft. It didn't over stir fry it, and it's gonna continue to cook a little bit as it sits off the heat here, but we also want it cool enough that we can roll without burning our fingers. And I did toss our scallions in, so they're gonna soften just a tiny bit. Let's set that aside. And now we're gonna talk rice paper. So here is what it looks like when it comes out of the little folder. And like I said before, you do not want to over soak this thinking, oh, it's still too stiff, because it's going to soften as we continue to work with it here. And I'm gonna roll my rice paper rolls up, and I'm just gonna put them on a plate here. So literally, this is just warm tap water now. It was piping hot when I started. It's just nicely warm now. In and out. So just about 5 seconds worth. Give it a shake. And then I like to work on parchment. Just seems to be easier. So I'm going to do a couple slivers of avocado, and then a little spoon of our filling here. And again, you kind of want to, you don't want to overstuff them. And this is getting so much more pliable now as it's sitting here. Now there's probably a real authentic way to do this, but what I like to do is just fold the bottom in, turn one side over the other, keep it kind of fold it up. You want it to be neat and kind of pretty. And then we're going to roll. Kind of tucking in as you roll. And then what you end up with is something pretty like that. We'll do another one. Another rice paper roll. Just hold it in there. All right, 5 seconds. Going to continue to soften as we work. A few pieces of avocado. And our filling, which smells really, really good, by the way. You can really smell the ginger in that. Again, just going to roll up. Don't worry if your rice paper roll breaks. Not a big deal. Tuck it in. It'll work with it. Scoot it over here. Roll in. And we're going to do the tuck and roll, I guess we'll call it. And this is going to continue to soften as it sits here. This one is not so good. My rolling on this one is not so great. There we go. Better. And the edges will seal out, so that one didn't, as you can see, there's no real reason to this. Okay. So again, not oversaturating it. 5 or 6 seconds is all we need. Shake. Going to continue to soften while it sits there. Some avocado. it's much softer. Kind of tuck it in. Oops, pepper's getting away on me here. Tuck it in. Roll. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll, tuck and roll. There we go. And the natural starch is gonna seal up those edges. All right, so I'm gonna come back in a few minutes once we've got all these rolled, and we'll do the taste test. Okay, so here we are all wrapped and ready to go. And I've got some of our peanut dipping sauce sitting here. This, of course, being the extra spicy version. So let's give a little taste test and see where we are at. It's really delicious. You can taste the cilantro, you can taste the peanuts. All the veggies have their own individual taste because they're not over stir-fried. This is a really great, nice and light lunch or a snack whenever you're having a yen for something that's really tasty and comes together fairly easily. So I hope you have enjoyed this. We hope to be able to bring you some more cooking videos as we go along. So stay tuned, keep watching on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And if you haven't, please make sure you like and subscribe so that you get notified as to when we post new videos. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you again from the kitchen.